Welcome back to the Convo Couch, everyone. I am Pasta Jardula.
And I'm Fiorella.
And Johnny Sue is still spinning on those ones and twos. Fam, how do you like my new shirt?
It's new?
Yes.
Oh.
Mom sent it to me for my birthday.
I didn't notice it was new. I'm so sorry.
I just turned 32. And my mother sent me this beautiful shirt. It's the first time. Ma! Beautiful. Fits nicely. She got the right size and everything.
It's a nice color, fam.
Yes. It was the second most favorite thing that happened to me yesterday.
What was the first? Let me guess.
Take a guess.
You are such a libertarian, fam.
But I'm not excited about a libertarian, fam. I'm getting excited about a potential green.
He is a green, but he seems more libertarianist to me than greenish. He's like a mix of the two. I like him, actually. I think this is great.
Yes. But here's something that people don't understand, fam, is because I think the confusion and the muddying of the waters from the mainstream media is that Jesse has definitely moved towards the Green Party himself. When you look at his policies, what he did in Minnesota, what he was pushing for, yeah, he's still the big-time libertarian where he believes in civil liberties and all that shit, and that's great, and he's anti-war AF. No one calls out the deep state like Jesse. We're going to show you some of that stuff. Some of the good stuff you like, too, fam, where he really kind of, like, progressed, where he stood up for Colin Kaepernick, when he was against calling the Washington the Redskins, all that stuff, and his sense of green energy. You know, the libertarians, the biggest problem between the progressives and the libertarians, fam, is the fact that they can't get on board for Medicare for All and a Green New Deal because of their ideology.
Yep.
Jesse ain't like that. I'm going to show you some good stuff. So let's talk about it, fam, because right off the bat, Jesse the Body Ventura, do you know why they call him the Body?
Because he was a wrestler.
Yes, he was in the WWF at the time. Now it's the WWE, but back in the days, Jesse the Body Ventura used to wear this, like, these funky pants. He used to have, like, all the, like, scarves on. Like, it was very metrosexual, you know what I'm saying? He used to wear these glasses, and he was called the Body, and he always had this great voice. And the great thing about Jesse the Body is he used to do commentary as well as wrestling, fam.
Wow. Wow. John Naughty posted on my Facebook that wrestling is a lot like politics. So maybe I should have watched wrestling because I never really liked it. Well, I've never been a fan.
I know you're lacking a little excitement like Jesse, like I am and stuff like that, but these things do matter, fam. He's a performer.
Oh, look at those zebra.
You know what I'm saying? He knows how to talk to people. There, look at that. Look at the stuff. That's the Body right there. Jesse the Body. He would always have those leopard-colored pants and whatnot. And
was it the 80s? Because I feel like that's very 80s.
It was the late 80s, fam. Yeah. Don't let everybody know that I'm not really 32. There it is. There's the best one. You see him with the microphone? So he's a performer. He understands, you know, how to talk to people, whatnot. And there's one big reason that he's even more appealing than Bernie and Tulsi is because he's not in the Democratic Party whatsoever.
Yep, that's appealing.
He is anti-establishment AF. Even he wrote this here in the article. It says, I haven't filed anything yet. I authorized a letter of interest that was sent on my behalf to the Greens, and I'm testing the waters for a Green Party nomination, he tweeted. I am an independent. So even though he's kind of trying to be a Green, he's telling you, I am an independent. I am not a Democrat or a Republican because I know they're not the solution. And fam, he's had this attitude for a long time. People think that he ran as an independent in Minnesota. He didn't. He ran under the Reform Party. He was a Reform Party candidate, which was Ross Perot's party. Do you have anything to say about this statement or the fact that he is anti-establishment as AF and your thoughts about this element that he's even a little bit more appeasing than Bernie and Tulsi? Do you buy that kind of, or no? What do you think?
I mean, I think he's not a politician, and I think that's refreshing. And I think him being openly anti-establishment in the sense of not being part of the Democratic and Republican Party is what people need right now. I mean, I've talked to many people, and they're very energized by the likelihood of his run.
Yeah.
I think he energizes people and brings people into this momentum that we have sort of lost since everything that happened with the Bernie campaign, which gets worse, and we're going to get into that later. But we need that anti-establishment, leftist, populist, but also kind of libertarian or all-encompassing. That's kind of like the campaign in a way that I wanted Bernie to run. It's kind of what he was running in 2016 a little bit more than what he did in 2020. And so I think a lot of people are excited about this. I honestly like him probably better than the majority of the candidates in the Green Party right now. And I, personally feel like the Green Party is very disorganized. And I voted Green in the last presidential election. I voted for Jill Stein, and I really like Jill Stein. But at the same time, I do feel like as a party, they need to get their shit together.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think that's really, it's kind of like the signal he sent that, listen, I am an independent, even though I'm looking for the Green Party nomination. He's not going to capitulate to the Green Party and all their bullshit, all their dysfunction. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to talk mean because ideology-wise, they're great. I think they're like good Democrats. Greens are what Democrats should be.
Yeah,
if they follow their own charter. He even says I'm an independent. The Green Party has to make a decision right now. Are they going to capitulate to Jesse? Because there are so many possibilities. Do I think he can win? I'm still not at the point where I don't know if he can win. I know he can catch fire because, once again, he's a public figure. He's been on Rogan several times. He's known. Independents love him. He did have that libertarian mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's the choice of VP, which I think will either decide to either put him over the top or not. The treatment by the both parties, will they let him on the debate stage? Because I think Trump, let's let him on. This is showtime. But do you think they'll let him on the debate stage?
I don't know about that. And I also don't think he can win, not because he couldn't have the support, but because, as you know, we lived in a rigged system and the elections have been rigged. It's much harder to rig a general election.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean the powers that be are going to let someone like him, who's so anti-establishment, easily get get to the top. And I just don't buy it. Until we reform our whole elections, I don't buy it. However, I think it's important to support somebody like a Green or a socialist or whoever you want to support to send a big fuck you to the establishment, because I'm so done with the Democrats. I mean, if you continue to vote for the Democrats, you are literally voting for abuse. You are somebody that likes to be abused, and you are insane because you think you can keep doing the same thing and expect different results, and nothing's going to change until we stand up to ourselves. And I feel like the Democrats are arrogant. We have zero leverage because we always vote for them no matter what they do. So I think as somebody that, likes what he has to offer, or whatever the Green Party has to offer, or whatever any other party has to offer, by all means, support him.
He understands how to use these parties as vessels. He used the Reform Party as a vessel, Ross Perot's party. But the thing about Jesse Ventura, that he's great. He's not going to capitulate to partisan politics or any type of bullshit. In fact, if he doesn't like what's going on, he bounces. And he bounced halfway through his term as governor in Minnesota from the Reform Party. Because why? They wanted to put forth Pat Buchanan as their nominee. And he says, get the hell out of here. He doesn't believe that represents the people or the party. So he left the party, which kind of hurt his, the mechanism of the party was in place in Minnesota. So it hurt his chances of running again. And he decided not to. But there's a lot of great things he did in Minnesota, very progressively. And I'm going to talk about it. I do want to point out that he did have a relationship with Donald Trump. I think it's time we kind of point that out right in the get-go.
Yes. And that's what kind of makes some people be like, he had a relationship with Donald Trump. But a lot of people forget that Donald Trump was not a politician for that long. I mean, he was a reality TV star before that. He was just a very wealthy man, and he was a Democrat. For many years, Donald Trump was a Democrat, and he had friends that were also along those lines. Yeah. And you can definitely see the differences between somebody like Donald Trump, though, and somebody like Jesse Ventura.
Yeah. And the funny thing about it is, when they were both independent-minded thinking people back in the days, Donald Trump continued to move closer to the Republican Party, where Jesse Ventura did the opposite. And he, as a libertarian, and I put up the political compass. Now, I'm not great on all these political compasses here, but you can see on this particular one, it says Jesse Ventura is in that purple area to the right, where it's libertarian, right? But that once again, fiscally conservative. You can see Gary Johnson's kind of right on the right thing. Johnny, can you blow that up a little bit? Because I know it's hard to see. But there's Jesse. You see him, fam, right there?
Yeah.
I'd say now, with his stance,
he's probably closer to
he's in the green now. I think he's on that same level, and he's in the green. Now, do I think he's far left as a socialist, as some of these other guys? No, I do not. However, he's changed his stance, or I should say progressed. His stance is on Green New Deal-like kind of
Can you
legislation.
guess where I'm at?
What's that?
Can you guess where I am?
Where?
On this chart?
You're on the bottom left-hand point,
I'm
right
literally
here,
right here. Honestly.
Yeah, that's where you are. Yeah, we know that. We know. I don't know where I'm at because I don't have all the solutions in my ideas in my head. I'm open to whatever. Wherever we can get, if in a revolution time, if we can get Medicare for all and some sort of Green New Deal, I'm down for it. But in the current political system,
you should take the test, fam. I want to see.
Well, it says I'm a progressive libertarian. We're all around that same way and stuff like that. We believe in our civil liberties, and Jesse is big. There's nobody who's going to stick up for Julian Assange and Edward Snowden like Jesse Jesse Ventura. Nobody. He believes that the media should be the fourth branch of government, and he's
It's
strong
supposed
on
to
that.
be.
Yes. So, I mean, Jesse is big on that, and I also got some stuff up over here, fam, that I want you to show. So now that's the chart in 2016. Right now, he'd be in the green, and I think he'd be lower than everybody else because once again, he believes that where it says that the media can't hold on to classified information. Like, Jesse doesn't believe that. He believes that the media should have classified information and everything should be an open, clear window to what the people should know. In other words, no secrets. We run the government, and therefore, we should know everything.
Right.
Now, there's two things I point out over here, fam, that I want to really talk about because the two biggest issues for progressives are what? Or I don't want to say that because progressives are kind of like a broad term, but we understand the Bernie Sanders people, they want Medicare for all and energy and oil. So now what I have over here, fam, is his issues page, and this is grabbing from quotes because here's the thing. Jesse's one of those guys who's out there who's speaking all the time. He's talking all the time. He's debating all the time. So it's really, really hard. John, if we can go down to the healthcare part, these are all the issues. I employ people. Go to this page.
This is from when?
There are everything collected of something he said from 1998 to 2012, I think.
Oh, okay.
So these are all different. While he was in office, everything he said. So we're on the healthcare part. Now, if you just let me get to it myself. The good thing is if you click on right here what he says. Sorry, John. Healthcare. So I click on the 13 quotes, and this gives you like an overview, whatnot. So you can hear his rhetoric. You see what he's talking about. 5,000 die yearly from preventable foodborne illnesses. 1948, all these tests. Treat anyone. The doctor is a humane right. And that's the one I like to look at the most because it says right there, are we that selfish that a nation where healthcare can be such a divisive issue? Where's the mainstream America today? To me, the doctor issue is a human right. I don't care if you're an illegal alien or whatever. If you're sick, you should be able to have treatment.
Yeah.
So you can see, fam, the ideology, like I said, you know what I'm saying? And he also, the Minnesota supports Minnesota Care Act, which is the tax to pay for the uninsured. So if somebody's uninsured, there'll be money for them to get health care. And he pushed for these policies while, he was in office. And he also talks about a lot of stuff, preventative, health care. And what's the other one right here? Suicides, talking about, going to get mental treatment. He was always big on mental treatment. He saw a lot of wrestlers around him kind of go crazy. He was close to Benoit, who killed himself. So this guy has kind of really evolved, and he really cares about people. Do you have any thoughts as far as, because you're a Medicare for All person, right? Bottom line, how do you think the Medicare for All people will take a guy like Jesse Ventura?
I mean, I think at this point they would welcome him, even if it's not exactly what Bernie Sanders said, because everybody is really disillusioned with what's happening right now. That I think it would seem like, wow, a breath of fresh air. It would seem like somebody that's willing to really fight and take on the establishment and has very similar ideas to a lot of the progressives. I would say he's close to a socialist libertarian aspect of that line. And I just labeling for the sake of understanding where we're coming from here, because if you are a libertarian, you want people to have their civil liberties, their freedoms, but the socialist part is the one that wants everybody to be taken care of by in a system that takes care of people, but is not intrusive to the point where you feel like it's authoritarian. So there's like a fine line between that. A lot of people say socialist libertarian is like a contradiction, but it's actually a real thing. Do
you believe in duplicative coverage? Is that what you're saying right now? Of sorts, like, how we talked about that single player plus, all that stuff that got kind of like convoluted and, the walk.
Well, no, I think it should be 100% free, like for everybody.
Yeah.
But
eliminate insurance completely. Though.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's on the right track.
Okay.
Yeah, I think insurance should be not like nationalized. I think it should be like it was in England, where everybody just, you're born, you have health insurance. If you want like whatever else you want, then you can probably buy that. Like if you want teeth whitening or something cosmetic, then that's separate.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, then comes the debate of what's cosmetic and what's not and stuff. Because I know, like, I believe that with insurance, health insurance, that if I wanted to, I could get penis juice for free, like Viagra or any of that stuff. But women's reproductive things were outside of their.
Yeah, well, it should be both.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I think it should be both.
It's ridiculous. Well, that's the whole thing.
I mean, even though I don't think penis juice is as important as not.
It's
having
not.
babies,
I mean, well, it's not, but it could be for a mental state of being.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that
it could
how
be.
can they give the goodies to the men, but women's basic needs as far as keeping, her body intact are not included in their insurance plan. And that was a common thing. The reason why we have a patriarchal society, and I can't deny it sometimes. Glory Jones, y'all should try the 8 values test too. # free Assange. Glory Jones, Carrie Mark, your stuff is in the mail. Look out for it.
Hey.
Paul Dombrowski, your stuff is in the mail. Russian, your stuff is in the mail. Freedom Tribe and Karen, we're waiting on your shirts. I just got a call. We'll get them in. We'll ship them out. You want some beautiful Convo Couch shirts? We got them. And if you're size large, I got extra ones. Dan Campbell, thank you. Jesse is Nader, Stein, Ron Paul caliber. He's Tulsi and Bernie without their shortcomings and without any attachment to the party, fam. I mean, you just made a video that says it's time to walk outside the party.
Yep. No, he just puts a little bit of excitement in a very disillusioned time.
It is very disillusioned. So now we're going to do one more click, John, the environment, Jesse Ventura on the environment. So now we know Medicare for all, and he even talked about illegal aliens. Illegal aliens are allowed, and I hate to use the term undocumented workers, whatever. He said, I don't care what you are, whatever you call them, they deserve health care. Just as you do. Everybody does. It's ridiculous.
He's essentially saying what Bernie says. Healthcare is a human right, without saying healthcare is a human right. Because if everybody deserves healthcare, you're saying it's a human right.
Yeah.
But he's just not using the same words.
He isn't.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a lot of work because you're going to have a lot of convincing to do. I still think his VP pick is going to be hard and stuff like that. But once Jesse, if the Green Party doesn't screw this up and gets this right and gets him on the ticket, wow, watch out. This guy is a performer. And look at some of the stuff he talks. The EPA approved poisons in the Gulf to disperse the BP oil spill. He has this show called Conspiracy Theory all back in the days. where he wrote the book, 63 Documents the United States government doesn't want you to read. Yeah. Talks about how the United States government classifies everything. Yep. And everything's in the shadow. Well, he always speaks out about this stuff, and he talked out about what BP did in the Gulf. He also wanted to push for light rail in the Twin Cities. And that's another thing he wanted to do. So he's got some policy background of pushing Green New Deal type of things and also calling out the polluters of our environment. And that's not libertarian, fam. That's green. And that's why he's going that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. He even talks about driven off his family farm due to development in Minnesota because that's where he's from.
And the way he puts these things is actually... language is actually good to get people that are conservative without realizing what they're voting for because that happens a lot in the Midwest. Like when it comes to co-ops, a lot of these people support co-ops, but it's not called that. It's called something else, and they don't know that that's what they're supporting. It's a socialist thing.
He also said he entered the mayoral race because of his water drainage issues. So, I mean, he's been moved by environmental issues to get involved with politics, and there's so many good things about Jesse Ventura. Like I said, I love Tulsi Gabbard. I love Bernie Sanders, and I'm saying they obviously, Tulsi had to go the route she had to. Bernie kind of like drifted off, somewhat capitulated to the Democratic Party. It sucks, don't get me wrong. And I'm not just trying to say, oh, this guy's better, but I never thought he would enter the race. I see that he waited, and once the smoke cleared, now he's jumping in. And the issues I love most, foreign policy, civil liberties. Did I ever tell you I'm a civil liberties guy, fam? I know, right? All the time. He is big on those things. He believes that media should be protected. So Jesse's going to protect us, fam. And we might even get some type of bill down the pipeline that will really curtail and put these big tech giants at bay and stop them from the suppression, which is suppressing our First Amendment rights, all the bullshit. They're spying. We need to get on him, and Jesse's just that type of guy. He will frigging crush the Patriot Act, fam. However, for him to really, this is a beauty pageant. This is who's the popular guy or whatever stuff. This is not really the presidency. It's not about the nuance of the policies, whatnot. It should be, and some people will be persuaded. But a lot of people will also be persuaded by who he picks as a vice president. Now, I'm going to tell you who I want him to pick right off the bat. I put this thing up there. Do you think Tulsi, she said she wouldn't run for president, third party. she should I don't want her to be the vice president, fam. I kind of put that up there to stir a little ruckus. You know why? I think she wouldn't pull from a different base to put him over the top. You know who I want him to be president? Vice president?
Who?
Take a guess. You guys take a guess. Come on. Johnny, who would I want Jesse Ventura to be the vice president? Yep. Johnny said Nina Turner. I don't know if his microphone is on. Yes.
That would be amazing.
Absolutely, because now you got Jesse.
Hello, somebody.
Hi, Pasta and Fee. What do these shirts of the CONVO couch look like? Well, that girl, send me your shipping address and your size, and I'll send you one. We have all different colors, shapes, and sizes, so you let me know. But you've done so many Super Chat contributions. I want to thank you that. I'm going to send you a shirt. That's why we sent one off to Carrie Mark. And Gloria, she says, thank you, fam, that you won her 2 T-shirts because of the trivia game twice. She backed the right pony. You know what I'm saying? I'm
a Mustang, not a pony.
So the vice president thing is going to be a real, a choice. Here's my wish list. Number 1, I want Nina Turner. Number 2, I want a Jamu.
I love a Jamu.
Number 3, I want Dario Hunter. If he's going to stay within the Green Party, I want those other 2 if he dips out of there. Now, listen.
Okay with all those, yeah.
You get Nina Turner, all those neo-progressives who are going to vote for Biden that are afraid that Trump's going to get elected, now they come into play. He's already grabbing those libertarians, those independents. He's got the Green Party, right? He's anti-war. So he's got all these things going. He's got this whole base that he's just going to grab from Joe and Trump the day he steps in there. But now if you use Nina Turner, you go over and you grab a bunch of people that you would have never, ever got, and you bring them over. And can you imagine in the South, in some areas where Obama's got like the older, people of color demographic that he's going to bring over for Joe, now you got that younger one that will get excited and whatnot. Nina's on the ticket. Let's go. Nina's on the ticket. Let's go. She energizes a base right there. And with 3 people in the race, anything can happen, fam.
I think it would effectively kill any sort of chance Nina Turner has in the Democratic Party. But guess what? That party is close to dead. It's pretty much, you'll see, like they are really digging their own graves further and further and further. So really, it would actually be great if she would be willing to be part of the Green Party. I think I agree that she would reach other people, more progressives, that he wouldn't necessarily reach. But I also think that it's going to be still tough to fight the propaganda, the mainstream media, and all of these, some of them even, progressives, quote unquote, who are all about defeating Donald Trump. Yeah. I think it would definitely signal a divide between those 2 groups, because there's already a divide right now, but it would just make it bigger. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'm all for it. I just want everything to fall apart. I want every mask to come off. I want to destroy the Democratic Party.
Yeah. Well, do you think she would consider jumping on him? What reasons would she have to stay at this point? You really want to work within that Democratic Party? Don't you want to be issues-based? And then this is the guy who's going to just bring so many issues.
Well, the reason I say she might want to stay is because she has said, she does want to get Trump out of office several times. So I don't really know if she would feel that it would be a mistake to not do that. I honestly think she is definitely more willing to hear the other side than Bernie, for instance, but I don't know if she'd make that calculated of a risk. Is he running for sure though? No,
he's waiting for the Green Party. Okay. And once again, listen, we've dealt with the Green Party. We've talked to them before. I've also made some calls out there and maybe get some people involved, get them back on the show, talk to them about what's going to happen, because once again, the Green Party, as we know, has had their own kind of bullshit going on with their own nomination process. However, they once approached Jesse Ventura almost a year ago about this. He talked about it at the airport when they caught him. He's like, the Green Party's already shown a lot of interest. So right now, it's up to them. Green Party, make your move. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they're going to do to try to get their person on as vice president. Like I said, he's not going to capitulate to the Green Party. The Green Party's got to capitulate to them. But can you imagine if he does, just say for some crazy chance, he says, let's go, Nina. Nina gets on there. They don't win, but they make a lot of noise. Now Nina Turner can run in 4 years as a Green Party candidate. And she'll be all about the Green Party. She's all about their values.
She can run as anything. I think the Democratic Party is trying to latch onto this idea that they have a shot at fixing and reforming themselves, and they don't. And they've shown it to us time and time again. So it's time, like I said, to walk away.
Yeah. So I got this video here, fam. I put this one on for you real quick. Johnny, I know I didn't put a time on there, but we're just going to play it from the beginning and probably stop it with a couple minutes into it. But this was a big kind of, controversial thing when the Washington Redskins were really getting pressed to change their name from the Redskins to something else. A lot of libertarians and people freedom of speech, they might have just stayed away from it and said whatever. But watch Jesse. When I say he's independent-minded thinking, and he doesn't back down, fam. He's smart. He's a performer. He knows how to work a crowd. And he sticks to his stance regardless if it's popular or not, or it's not with his people. I mean, he cannot be underestimated. This guy is genuine, and it could be a game changer. He's also got a lot of popularity in pop culture, main culture, independent culture. He's a breadwinner over here. Check him out.
On the Washington Redskins, because at the moment there's plenty of talk about them and whether the name is offensive, whether it should be changed, and whether that indeed means that other teams' names should be changed as well. What do you think? Do you think it needs to go?
Yes, but no, not the other teams. The Redskin name is completely offensive to me. I did NFL football on the radio for Tampa for 2 years in the early 90s and the Vikings for 1. Whenever I would talk, I made a conscious effort. I simply called them Washington. And I hope I never slipped up. But I would only call them Washington. And put it this way, do you think you could go out on the street and see a Native American who you didn't know and say, hey, Redskin, come here? What do you think the results of that would be? Not very good. They need to change that name. It's racist. And I had to laugh. This kid from Philadelphia that got in all the trouble, for
Riley Cooper.
He made a racial slur on tape or whatever. Well, I found it laughable on ESPN when they chastised him, and then the very next story was RG3 and the Washington Whats, and none of them even batted an eye over it. I think it shows me this. It shows me that we as individuals can't make racial slurs, but corporations can. And I thought corporations were supposed to have the same as us, according to our Supreme Court. Well,
there it is. See what I'm saying, family?
Yeah.
Not only does he take a stance and saying, it's racist, but he also talks about the fact that
hypocrisy.
Yes, that the mainstream media gets to do what the hell they want. Corporations get to do what they want, but the little guy, he slips up and forget about it. Because with Riley Cooper, a lot of friends with him are saying, it was the end talk, I'm not going to excuse it, but the fact that the corporations they're allowed to do whatever they want, but the little guy is going to get attacked. And he's a football player, but still, it's kind of messed up. I have one here, fam, when I told you guys this before. Here's another one. I'm trying to get you Team Jesse, fam. I talked about the Washington thing. He stuck up for Colin Kaepernick. Oh, no one calls out the deep state like Jesse, but he even stands for socialism in South America and the Caribbean. Check this part out.
I've never met Chavez, but I will make this statement.
You go.
I watched Oliver's film this weekend, and I think this film should be mandatory viewing for every high school senior in the United States of America. That's how strong I feel about it. Because the key to Oliver's film is not Hugo Chavez. The key to this film is the lying manipulation of our mainstream media and how they flagrantly lie to us. And I'm a person that knows the experience well, being an independent.
Do you think they've conned Connie Mack?
I think Connie Mack is going, off the U.S. media and what they tell him, because I would ask Connie if he's ever been there. Has he met Mr. Chavez? I've been to Cuba. I've met Fidel Castro over the objections of the Bush administration, where Otto Reich had the gall to say we were going down there to sample the sex trade, which I asked for an apology and never got.
Connie, do you know Chavez?
No, I don't. But for the governor to suggest that this should be mandatory for all of the our students, again, it's shameful. I don't know where you are. I don't understand what it is that's in your mind when you want to subject our children to the thoughts and ideas of someone like Hugo Chavez that, again, supports the FARC.
So we should practice censorship? Your advocation is censorship?
No, your advocation...
We shouldn't allow our kids to see what goes on?
One at a time.
Governor, your advocation is for...
It's called knowledge.
One at a time.
Governor, you are saying that you want to make this part of the curriculum. Are you kidding me? What happened to the greatness of America? I mean, I don't understand. I really don't understand this, Larry. That
you tell me
people out
what
there
happened to the greatness of our media.
This type of
how about when our media used to be the fourth branch of government? Our media was there to be the check of watching the other three. But our media today, mainstream, is not that, Larry. Okay. They are bought and sold. I'll give you examples. When I was an independent governor in Minnesota, I wrote my autobiography.
So, yeah, he gets into it. But do you see what I'm saying, fam, this guy? He's not afraid to take a stance. It should be mandatory to teach this in school. Like, I mean, to say that 10 years ago about Hugo Chavez, and then, of course, with the exceptionalism, here comes the Republican congressman with the exceptionalism, the nationalism. Oh, well, how dare we subject our kids to it? Oh, so you want to censor them. You don't want to see what's going on in other countries. And did you notice him keep continuing to talk? And he'll do this a lot. He'll be like, hold on, whatever. He's got that Trump-esque, like, hey, you ain't stopping me. I'm going to get my word in. That's it. And I know it kind of might seem petty to some of us who are in the bubble and whatnot, but to the mainstream, a lot of people like that and respect that because they're going to look at him as a genuine person who's going to say what he has to say. He doesn't care who tries to stop him. He was sticking up for
I think
Hugo
people
Chavez.
are hungry for somebody like that that's not Donald Trump. Like somebody like that is actually anti-establishment. Because again, Donald Trump ran as an anti-establishment candidate, as an anti-interventionist. We know he really isn't. But Jesse Ventura is like that, but actually from a more leftist perspective. And he is anti-establishment, anti-war, super populist, and I think people are really hungry for that person that's going to punch back and isn't just going to play super nice like Bernie did. And that was Bernie's sort of, it was something that people value of him, but it was also something that really didn't help him at all when he needed to actually punch Joe Biden. Can you imagine Jesse Ventura against Joe Biden? I mean, he would destroy him, but with validity, versus Trump would destroy him with like comedy more so.
Well, no, it's gonna be interesting to see how if in fact they did get on the debate stage, how it would be and how they would go at each other. It'd be kind of cool. Magnetic, does that say perturbation? Perturbation, PERTUR, perturbation. Perturbation. Thank you. Fox Labels. What are your principles? Hashtag solidarity. Poopy Cakes, one of my favorite names out there. Thank you for the super chat contribution. Poopy Cakes, it is always appreciated on the couch. And listen what Poopy Cake says. Getting chills. Jesse and Nina 2020 fam. Getting chills. Listen, I would love that combination. Wow. Nina Turner, what she would do for her career. I know that she might ruin her shit within the Democratic Party.
Fuck the Democratic Party.
Exactly. Spectra is winning. Thank you for the super chat contribution. It is always appreciated on the couch in an appreciation of Jonny Tsu. That caps this month's trifecta of discretionary donations. Well, it doesn't make a difference because it's late April. Next month is coming up. May is right around the corner. Sorry about that, fam. If I got you, thank you for the super chat contribution. That is very nice. Thank you to Jonny Tsu, who's always handling the ones and twos. Fam, I got 2 more videos and we'll get on to your next topic. I got to show you this one because we talked about, so now I showed you a video of him sticking up for the Washington, you know what, Red, you know what. He talked about Colin Kaepernick. I showed you some of his social issues, how he's been progressing left, light rail in Minnesota, talking about the military-industrial complex polluting the air and the water. He got involved for those reasons. How he's moving to Medicare for all of sorts. Undocumented workers should even get it. Well, we know how he is about calling out, the deep state, right? Well, let me show you one of my favorite videos of him calling out, questioning our government. And he uses examples. He wrote a book called 63 Documents the United States Does Not Want You to See. The government doesn't want you to see. This is one of my favorite moments. Let's start this from the beginning. It's about 2 minutes. Watch how they get into it, fam. This guy does not back down.
To be totally just, you believe that Dick Cheney, George Bush, and the whole administration should be prosecuted for their acts.
Governor Jesse Ventura
is with it. But if that is the case, then we should prosecute. We should have prosecuted Harry Truman. Should have prosecuted Abraham Lincoln. Should have prosecuted Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Are you for that?
They're dead.
But if you talk about justice,
they're dead.
So if they weren't, would you prosecute
reality.
them?
You're giving me a hypothetical that's bullshit.
I'm giving you a hypothetical because you're making up Rosie O'Donnell like scandals that says that 9/11 was an inside job.
Well, why are you not allowed to ask anything about it?
No,
why,
you're
when
concluding.
you approach the government, I approach the government.
I read everything possible. I watched all the hearings. You're right. I haven't read. You looked at my reading list. Have you read the 9/11 report, and you think it's a piece of fiction?
No, I believe everything in it. I believe my government's never lied to me, have they? Let's see, where should we start? The Gulf of Tonkin incident? Now, that took us into war in Vietnam. They've now admitted it was a lie. So 58,000 of my generation were killed based upon a lie. But that doesn't count, does it?
What does that have to do with 9/11?
That shows that we will lie to go to war. We've been doing it for years. We will continue to do it. The Gulf of Tonkin incident, did you believe that? Well, you probably weren't alive then.
I apologize for not being alive then.
Well,
it won't happen again.
Well, I was alive.
Okay.
But and I remember our president sitting on TV telling us our boys are floating in the water.
Because of that, you'll never believe anything.
False.
And because of that, you'll never believe anything.
But they lie all the time. Have you been in government? No, I have.
All right, so that's so I've never been in the NFL, but I could watch a football game and judge what's going on.
Why do we have the CIA embedded in all state government when their mission statement says that they're not?
The question. If you just say one thing, you don't think the CIA has our best interest in mind. You don't think our intelligence branch.
I never said any of that.
But your questions and conclusions only lead to that one statement. That you think everyone's against America, the government's against America.
True. Always remember, dissension's the greatest form of patriotism. Tom Jefferson said that.
Tom, you were alive then?
No. You're going to insult me.
I got to go to radio. Yeah. All right, Jesse. Take care.
He's leaving.
Jesse, I do have to say that I think Brian probably has read every word from.
It's very easy to find that video. I suggest you go back.
He just got made to look like an idiot. That's why that guy left.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so daft. Like, what does that have to do? What does that have to do with 9/11? Like, you can't make the fucking connection what it has to do with the government lying to you on such a huge issue just so they can go to war. Do you not think that they're going to continue to lie to you just so they can go to war? Like, how stupid are you? These people they're beyond stupid. They're actual robots to the oligarchy.
Yeah. And they're all just inbred with this, like, kind of nationalism. It's everything that was taught from school. You know what I'm saying? Like, that guy reminds me a little bit of Zach sometimes. Like, oh, no, Zach, they fed you a bunch of lies when you went to school, brother.
Damn
no,
it.
I don't know about that. I'm like, Zach,
really
they fed you a bunch
Zach
of
right
fucking
now?
lies. I love you, and I know he's probably evolved. I love my boy over there, but this guy is very much like that mentality that really just believes everything that was fed. Remember when Ungi told us one day, is like, I just realized one day that everything I was taught, everything I was programmed to think was all a fucking lie. Kevin Z said it on this show, right? The U.S., the secret empire. But here's a guy calling it out for what it is, not afraid to call it out. You know how much courage that took? Years ago. Before even Gravel, before anybody, it was Jesse the Body Ventura. Captain Freeman. If you haven't seen The Running Man, you haven't seen The Running. Can we watch The Running Man, guys? It was ahead of its time. It was written by Stephen King, adopted by somebody else, and it was a story about what the future is going to look like, how we've become barbarians, and how the media and the mainstream and the oligarchs change everything. And it's kind of funny when he was talking about, when he was looking at the script, he was like, this says this is like 30 years from now. This is like maybe 6 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How we're going as a country and how we're lied to and how we're messed with. It is pretty disgusting. I have one more final video, fam. It's with Piers Morgan, and it's important to put it out because media, whistleblowers, real journalists, they're being prosecuted. They were prosecuted under Obama. He used the Espionage Act to prosecute more journalists than any other president. Donald Trump has followed suit. This is all about what rights the people have. What should they know? What should we keep secret and what we shouldn't keep secret? Because there's a lot of people out there, a lot of Fox News watchers, not to pick on them, but they believe that stuff should be kept secret in the interest of the public, of the government, of public interest. What do they call it? They say they always do this and that, and in the matter of secured public interest of sorts, like the CIA's. Yeah. We shouldn't look at that. The public shouldn't know about those things. Well, Jesse, not only is he just a libertarian-minded when it comes to civil liberties, he believes the public should know, and the media has the right to tell people. First 2 minutes, please, Jonathan.
So perhaps for my brother, who's a British Army colonel, and when I discussed WikiLeaks with him, he says that the impact of releasing private memos, private reports from the military when they're in operations is incredibly dangerous.
All right, go to my book. Sure,
I believe you agree with that.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But go to my book and see. Currently, our government every year declares 16 million things top secret. 16 million. I would say that's about everything. So what do we get to know about?
But my point,
Wait,
Jesse,
my point is when they're abusing what's secret by classifying everything they do, the public can't see. Read in the back of the book what some of the great founders of this country said about secretive government.
did you believe it was in the public interest that WikiLeaks revealed, for example, that Colonel Gaddafi had 4 mistresses?
I could care less how many women Colonel Gaddafi has.
No, but do you think is it in the public interest to reveal that information?
I don't know. It's gossip. Doesn't bother me.
But when you were governor, you hated that kind of gossip against you and your family. In fact, you detested the media that spread any kind of gossip about your family.
They didn't spread gossip about my family.
They did about your son, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, they trumped up charges on
Right,
him.
but what I'm saying is that kind of family gossip, private life stuff, isn't that where the line should be drawn with WikiLeaks? Why do you support everything they put out there? Given that you were so vocal about any private material coming out about you.
Then why is it okay for why is it okay for them to expose my private stuff?
I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying if you felt strongly that your private life was your private life, however much you think badly of Colonel Gaddafi...
Well, somebody had to write about it, didn't they?
Why is Gaddafi's private life public interest?
What you're at here is a classic example of killing the messenger, not the message. If it wasn't written in the first place, there'd be no message, would there? So somebody wrote it to begin with. Shouldn't they be the ones who have put America in danger? The ones who wrote it?
No, because the whole point of being a diplomat is that when you report to your governments around the world, and wait, let me finish.
Then we're in sad shape when diplomats have to sit and lie, when they have to write things that people aren't allowed to read, and if they do read, they take offense to. Well, I would say that's part of the big problems of the world today.
There he is, man. I mean, the more people learn about Jesse Ventura and the more they see him, the more they're going to love this guy. He does not back down. I think he's that opposite of kind of Trump, the Trump on the leftist side that we needed. People want somebody who's going to stand up and take power, and who's going to be sure of their convictions, someone who is genuine. Even if they don't agree with him, he believes in what he believes, and people will support him for those reasons. And Jay Bird says, Jesse, Americans ain't got time to bleed. That was from the movie Predator. There was a scene where he goes, you're bleeding. He goes, I ain't got time to bleed. It's one of his famous, and he had a big old kind of gun in this movie, which I know a lot of the junkies liked. It was kind of like, it was a war fictional movie and stuff, but that's Jesse Ventura, fam. Are you ready?
He's great.
Can I order you a shirt?
Order me a shirt, fam.
You're down?
I'm down.
You guys, let's find out. Find us what kind of shirt you want us to, what shirt should Fiorella get? And I'm going to buy it for her. I'm going to order it. I was thinking, the way that Bernie Sanders used to have the silhouette, like his shadow and stuff?
Yeah.
I want that one with Jesse where he's got the bald head and then the hair down here.
Well, really he's got the Bernie bald head and the white hair, so I'm just trading one old white guy for another. They're my favorite.
Yeah, but this guy has always been anti-establishment, fam, so I know you were once like, sometimes you thought you're in love with Bernie, but you meet the other guy. Maybe Jesse can be the next love of your socialistic mind in your heart.
Who knows? It's tough. It's tough for me. I'm not, really open right now. I'm still hurting a little bit, I'm still trying to get there. I'm still trying to get over him,
I know, fam. It's going to be hard. Listen, guys, over on ROKFIN, thank you very much for watching live. We have 6 viewers. If you haven't signed up for ROKFIN, please go on over there, ROKFIN. Sign on up and get an account. If you can afford to endorse us for $9.99 a month, you got that governmental check yet, that unemployment check, then please go ahead and spend it on the CONVO couch. We love it. We appreciate it right there. CONVO couch. Fam, let's talk about your favorite, Hillary Clinton.
Okay, so...
Your fave.
So Joe Biden, of course, had a little women's town hall. Oh, and his special guest was Hillary Clinton.
Oh, Jesus.
Hillary Rodham Clinton, who we thought maybe would just go away for once, but she decided she's here to stay. And she posted this earlier on Twitter where she says a little hint about who the surprise guest will be. for Joe Biden's 3 p.m. Eastern town hall today. Jesus. She's excited. And there's Obama.
Here's the crew, fam.
Biden and Clinton.
The
what
band.
a wonderful administration, full of bombs, death, wars, transfers of wealth into banks and corporations, deregulation,
evictions,
drones. I mean, it was just a wonderful
bank
time.
Bailouts,
terrible regime change in Central America. It was just wonderful.
We saw he died.
And we just want it back, right? Yeah. Because can you imagine if Joe Biden made Hillary Clinton his VP? By the way, the next picture shows Joe Biden saying "I'm with her" in a twist of words, and it's on the doc, Johnny. It should be right below it if it's refreshed, but if
Joe
not,
Biden
it's okay.
it's right there. I'm with her right there.
Yes, he says I'm with her. And it's just funny to me because these people are literally what caused Donald Trump. Like the dissatisfaction, the disillusionment, the disheartening is what caused Donald Trump. It's also what caused Bernie Sanders, the surge of Bernie Sanders in 2016. People are so done with these three that they literally when they screwed Bernie in 2016, they voted for Donald Trump, a lot of them, or they just didn't vote. And so what they're saying here, this is how psychopathic the Democratic Party is and how stupid at the same time. What they're saying here is we're just going to get the team back, or we're just going to, these are our friends. This is the Democratic Party right here in a nutshell. Hillary Clinton, Obama. Biden is just a corpse right now that they're manipulating. Really, the Democratic Party is Obama and Hillary Clinton. That's it. And
Bill's got some pull in there too.
Well, yeah, of course, the Clintons.
Yeah.
But it's really, a lot of people are scared. But I think, honestly, if he did make her his VP, you would see people enraged, but you would also see people be extremely okay, this is the last thing for the Democratic Party. This is the last nail in the coffin.
I don't understand how they keep going back to the wishing well of the Clintons, fam. You know what I'm saying? I texted a friend the other day. I'm like, hey man, what was up with that Bill Clinton meme that's going on there? And it's like, oh, it's just a meme where you can put your records in and whatnot. And I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to be controversial over here, but why is anybody still kind of glorifying any of the Clintons? I mean, what do you need from him? How many times does he have to go to Epstein Island? What do you need to catch him? You need a picture with him and a 14-year-old girl in the bedroom?
Apparently.
What do you need at this point? It's kind of gross. And I don't like to use that word, with some of the neoliberals, the way they use their gross. No, this is really gross. This is pedophilia. This guy is guilty as sin, and I'm not just spitballing over here. There are so many links to him and Epstein. It's just it's ridiculous. That's why I was completely done with Elizabeth Warren when she was walking around with Hillary Clinton. But these people, they don't even care. They're shoving the shit in your face. These people need to be in jail. All of them. Not being out there trying to regain the most powerful positions in our world. Mm-hmm. It's disgusting, fam. And I'm not with her.
They talked about ice cream in their little live stream. I don't know.
Maybe they got the idea from Nancy Pelosi. That didn't backfire enough for them. These people don't care.
No, yeah, they don't care. I mean, the whole time they were just talking about platitudes. It was really nothing.
Yeah, I listened to the whole thing. They were only talking about platitudes. Yeah. I was listening to see if they were gonna make her VP.
Yeah.
What do you think?
She just endorsed him.
They're
right
testing
now.
the waters.
She just endorsed him. Yeah. They were talking about
I think they are
women
testing.
And healthcare frontline people.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this much. I didn't put it in the thing because I really didn't want to get to it. But Jayapal.
Oh yeah.
Just shut the F up.
I have a video coming on that.
Just shut the hell up.
She made it her pinned tweet. That's my whole. Did she make it her pinned tweet? She did. She made it her pinned tweet.
Are they making her do this?
People are saying she had to do this, or
no. I'm sick and tired of hearing that they had to do this anymore.
I am so sick of that.
Run,
too.
Jesse, run.
Yeah.
The other thing about that stream is that it's got a majority downvotes.
Johnny, give me what
it's at 2.9 thousand to 1.2 thousand.
I'm surprised YouTube hasn't scrubbed that yet.
No, and I took a bunch of screenshots while I was watching it, updating
hilarious.
The dislikes.
Yes.
It was just, the dislikes were higher the whole time.
That's hilarious.
Did we get something on our page just now, John?
Please, Joe, make her your VP. Just try. Cool. You'll see how much Donald Trump wins by, because it would be
Oh,
giant.
and then also they were showing it on ABC News. Like they showed the whole thing, right? But they never do that with Bernie's.
Yeah, no,
right? Anyways, they showed the whole thing, and the live chat was there, but it was limited, so they can only. It's invite only. It was invite only to chat, which
just
is
like
weird,
the Democratic Party.
I've never seen that on YouTube before.
They have to separate the plebs from the real elites. I'm so sorry. Even when you're watching virtually, they have to let you know you're not good enough. You don't have enough money.
Did you want to play a clip of that real quick, Johnny, or no? Tony watches closely, who is also on our ROKFIN. Tony, thank you for the super chat contribution. Is always appreciated on the couch. Did we ever get Tony's address and a size for a shirt? Tony, hit us up on the CONVO couch at gmail.com. Give us your size, give us your shipping address, and we will send out a beautiful shirt.
We
Thank you so
promise
much.
we won't give it to the deep state. We promise.
Tony is always cool. He was always on our ROKFIN as well, and I saw him over there before. He says, is this a live video? Yes, it is, Tony. And you get a shirt. He gets a shirt. She gets a shirt. Then green with weed leaf for fee. How do you feel
weed?
about
I whatever. Yeah, anything with weed.
Tiberius Monk 84, thank you for the super chat contribution. Is always appreciated on the couch. What up, Pasta and Fiorella? Hope you all are well. We're doing better with your love. Thank you so much for that super chat contribution.
It's hot, guys. It's hot.
It is hot, and y'all are making it hotter. Jason V, thank you for the super chat contribution. It is always appreciated on the couch. Did y'all see Biden's latest dementia moment? Oh, no, I did not. He rambled out.
There's just so many.
Economic intercourse.
Oh, yes.
Freudian slip for what the elites call their sex tourism. What did he do?
Yeah, he was rambling a lot in that live stream.
He said economic intercourse when he was talking.
Fiorella, I think Tiberius Monk made this super chat contribution for what you said. Thank you for the super chat contribution, Tiberius 84. The Monk, weekend at Biden's, the walking corpse of the DNC. Well, let's really stick the needle to them. Let's get Jesse aboard. Man, if Jesse gets into this, this guy is going to catch fire because he'll say, shut up, Donald Trump. You're talking to Captain Freedom over here.
I would love to see it. I would honestly love to see it. Okay, so you guys, I have been on it as far as
another one of your favorite
the autopsy of the Bernie Sanders campaign, and Pasta's here for this one. He wasn't here for the last one, but he's here for this one to kind of tame me up, because this is something that Pasta and I, the entire MCSC network, the majority of people that we know here have been talking about since 2016, actually. 2016, we saw Jeff Weaver be a problem. We thought he was not going to be involved in the Sanders campaign. Turns out he was involved as a top advisor, off the record, off the books, but he ended up having Bernie's ear most of the time. So it turns out that Jeff Weaver is behind a consultant-led super PAC called A Future to Believe In. And Robledo actually had broke the story about the woman, Laura Haggard, a few days ago. So I'm just going to go over this because this is kind of scary, because this is just cementing how the Bernie Sanders campaign, I believe, was entirely co-opted at its core by the establishment, right? So former Bernie Sanders treasurer, her name is Laura Haggard. She heads this Future to Believe in PAC. She's the treasurer of the Bernie Sanders campaign. In fact, she also worked as a consultant for Joe Biden and Michael Bloomberg. And she, of course, got her latest job as a treasurer for the Bernie Sanders campaign. This is her firm, Blue Wave Political Partners. And she has been paid thousands of money to work for all of these three people. Now, this is her biography. That's her picture.
Nice picture, fam.
She has 18 years of political experience in election reporting and compliance, along with 22 years of accounting experience for both nonprofit and corporate. There's a few of the people she worked with, Mikey Sherrill, Stephanie Murphy, and several other people, CEOs. But let's look at the numbers here. This is the FEC, and we love FEC here at the CONVO Couch.
Open secrets, thank you.
And so there's the Bernie 2020, but you also see Biden, or Mike Bloomberg. You'll see Bernie, Mike Bloomberg, and then you see Biden right down here. So this is all her doing right here.
Jesus Christ,
and the Bernie
fam.
Sanders campaign, of course, by default, is associated with this woman. And there it is right here, Laura Haggard, partner at Blue Wave Political Partners, LLC. And what does this mean, that this PAC? Well, the PAC basically is a sort of, it can't directly coordinate with the candidate, but they can spend millions of dollars advancing Biden's campaign through this PAC and trashing Trump, because that's the point of the PAC, is to advance Biden's campaign and trash Trump. And Jeff Weaver used A Future to Believe In, which is the Sanders motto from 2016, to make this PAC. Guess what? There was a reporter from the New York Times. He got in contact with Jeff Weaver, and Jeff Weaver said, oh, yes, Bernie Sanders is not okay with me making this PAC. But guess what? It's too late, because he made this PAC, but guess who else is making PACs? A lot of the people in the Sanders campaign are making PACs.
So wait a second. So when was this PAC made?
This PAC was made last week.
So it's a brand new PAC.
Brand new PAC. This one is brand new. The one that the woman, the Blue Wave PAC,
yes.
she's had for a while.
Okay.
Yes.
But why does he always have these connections that, I mean, Bernie Sanders, with his, not Jeff Weaver, has these connections to Bloomberg. Even for Center for American Progress has connections to Bloomberg.
Yep.
Bernie Sanders has been attached to Bloomberg,
Yep.
like not directly or indirectly, but it's tainted his name, fam.
Absolutely tainted his name. And Jeff Weaver, just so everybody knows, has been with Bernie Sanders since Bernie Sanders first started.
He's such a schmuck.
And what it appears to have happened is that Jeff Weaver has sold out versus Bernie Sanders stayed where he stayed. And he had his ear. I mean, this is something that it's still a bit of a mystery, even to the people closest to Bernie, because Bernie just does not seem like he's a good judge of character. And I don't even want to focus on Bernie right now, because before I focus on Bernie, I need to break down exactly how bad this is, because it goes deeper than that. So the New York Times, of course, confirmed this, because Robledo has spoken about Laura, but then the New York Times confirmed that, yes, Jeff Weaver was behind this PAC. And it gets worse, though, because I did a little thread over here and where I broke it down, and people are probably going to get pissed off. Oh, well, what can I do? But here's the thread, and it says, just breaking it down for you guys, Jeff Weaver was behind the PAC. Laura Haggard was a campaign treasurer for Bernie 2020, also worked with Bloomberg and Biden, which is a big no-no. Chuck Rocha, our favorite person, was on Rising yesterday. And this was happening as New York and Ohio removed Bernie Sanders from the ballot. And instead of talking about that, he was talking about his new Super PAC, his new little PAC he has called Nuestro PAC. And it's a Latino PAC to get all the Latinos. And, you know, as a Latino, I am actually,
right,
I am so on board with the establishment Latino takeover. But down the line, let's go down the line, because there's been a lot of talk of the California people, right? Jorel Varela, who was a California statewide field director for Bernie 2020, worked with Anthony Rendon, who gutted single payer in California. Louis Myers, the LA field director, created a PAC called 285 PAC, and you can see it right below. There it is, FEC form statement of organization, and this is the 285 PAC, and there is his name right under it. Louis Myers, blah, blah, blah. He's the treasurer. He's the one that created this
Your
one.
friend,
okay?
fam.
He is. He's my friend. And then Laura Haggard, of course, what we said before, she was a consultant, and she was involved in all those people. Okay, there's her LinkedIn. But then there's also this other guy, the California State Director.
My friend.
Your best friend, Rafael Navarre. The guy you tried to warn about the election stuff,
Assholes.
And Jeff Weaver, both of them, on video.
Twice.
He also has a PAC, fam. He also has a PAC. Mi Gente PAC.
Mi Gente.
Mi Gente. This is spelled wrong. It should be G, but okay.
That's not Magente?
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Guys, I want to spend some money to Magente. It's in Arizona.
So there he is, and there he is on Twitter promoting his little PAC, okay? But this is why this is such a big deal, because these connections to the establishment are one thing. These people are all connected to Center for American Progress, to people like Bloomberg, to people like Biden. And now Jeff Weaver is taking all of this and trying to get Bernie supporters and progressives to support him. So let's go down a little bit further, because I want to show you guys something. Louis Myers has a PAC don't know if it's up here. Lewis Myers, I don't think I put it, but Lewis Myers has his PAC where he is sending people a Google Doc form where they can sign up, and it has a picture of Bernie Sanders and the Bernie Sanders logo, and it says, join us, a Bernie alumni, and help us and donate to our Super PAC. This is going to help progressives and Latinos and blah, blah, blah.
No.
Lewis deactivated his Facebook, by the way.
He's using Bernie's face?
Yeah.
And he deactivated his Facebook?
Yeah, he deactivated his
All right,
Facebook.
I have questions, fam. So Lewis Myers, Rafael Navarro, this Laura woman right over here,
Yeah.
Jarrell, they all started PACs, right?
Yeah, all of them.
So what are they doing with these PACs exactly? Because I know Bernie Sanders had like a PAC of nurses where you say all PACs are
That's
not
a union.
So bad. It's
right.
different union PACs. How are these PACs nefarious or sinister in certain ways? Like, what are they doing? Where's the money going? Who are they getting it from?
So, like I said earlier, like they can basically use these PACs to pay themselves. Because remember, now that the Bernie Sanders campaign is done, why do you think they all started PACs as soon as the campaign's over? Because these are highly paid establishment consultants. Right now, they're not getting paid.
Okay.
Right? So if they can form a 501c3, I believe is what this organization is, they can get people to donate to them under the progressive cause, so then they can continue to make money off the movement without actually doing anything to forward the movement's agenda. And it's completely legal because it's a PAC that's not affiliated with Bernie anymore, but it's using their connections to the Bernie campaign.
Is that money going to Biden's campaign at all?
The money from the Future to Believe in PAC is entirely to go to Biden's campaign.
So where's Lewis and Raphael going to funnel their money to? They're not going to take all the money they get in. They're going to pay themselves, but where's the rest of that money going to?
To their Latino trying to take over progressive Latino positions in organizing and government.
They're not progressive, Raphael or Lewis, at all. Okay, they're left-leaning establishment neo-progressives at best, and they thank you so much for doing this, fam, because I had no idea that Lewis Myers and Rafael Navarro had Super PACs.
Well, it's that's what you said, right?
Wow.
They all started them at the same time, and it's precisely because they're no longer working with the Bernie Sanders campaign, so they need a way to make money. And this is the worst thing is, I mean, just starting a PAC right after Bernie Sanders suspends his campaign. And then, of course, Jeff Weber above everybody, because Jeff Weber hired Chuck Rocha back in 2016. Chuck Rocha actually worked in the campaign in 2016.
Yes.
He just was lower level.
He was pushing Bernie to concede quicker than he did, I heard. That was the rumblings about Jeff Weaver's, that he was trying to get Bernie to drop out.
He did that
and
again.
Get behind Hillary.
He did that again. That's
and he was the one doing it ahead of everybody else last time when
Yes.
there was a different path. It was a different nomination, different things going on. So,
Yep. So this is exactly what it is. And so I mean, the ties to Joe Biden are crazy because now it seems like the establishment is entirely consolidated with Joe Biden. And what happens if Joe Biden picks somebody like Hillary Clinton? All these people are going to be doing this to get Biden and Clinton to win, or Biden and whoever other neoliberal it is. And that's the problem. And this is exactly how they co-opt campaigns. They started a hierarchical system where Weaver hired Rocha hired Rafa, Jarrell, all these other people that are just like him. And they completely took over the Sanders campaign, did it from top down, hierarchical structure. And that's why we had the situation we had where the grassroots was pushed out. And if you recall, remember the Bernie van. Remember how they said the Bernie van, which was a tool for canvassing, grassroots people and their organizations, they couldn't be seen with the Bernie Sanders campaign because it was a conflict of interest, because they were afraid that they were going to be a 501c3 or a 501c4.
Yeah.
Now they turn around and actually enact organizations that are exactly that and use their resources from the Sanders campaign to pull these lists, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And we're all aware of it. And guess what? Bernie supporters aren't going to follow Bernie that way. They're entirely done with it. It's disgusting, and we need to expose these people, and we will continue to do so.
It seems like those Lewis Myers fam, the Lewis Myers, the Rafael Navarros, they would hire only people that were loyalists to them, but people who were truth tellers were not allowed in, or people who would steal their thunders were not allowed. You know
They
what I'm saying?
didn't want the grassroots to make them look bad. And a lot of people have come back at me and said, Chuck Roach is the reason Bernie Sanders won the Latino vote.
No way.
No, he's not.
No way.
Bernie Sanders won the Latino vote because Bernie Sanders had the policies on immigration that Latinos really liked. And the
workers,
grassroots organizers, the volunteers, and the field organizers were the ones knocking on doors for Bernie. I'm telling you because I saw it, especially in this neighborhood alone. Melissa Michelson was knocking doors left and right for Bernie, and they're all Latino.
Yeah.
And you would see Bernie signs all up and down the streets around here at Latino homes. Chuck Roach didn't get Bernie Sanders a Latino vote.
No.
If that were the case, Texas, they would have won Texas.
Yeah.
The way we won California in spite of the election fraud, in spite of the bad management, in spite of all of that, we won California. It wasn't because of those people. It was in spite of them. And that's something that is noteworthy even now, even with all the bullshit we had to go through.
Yeah.
The fact that we even won is a miracle.
Well, I think we won the Latino vote because of people like Carlos Marroquin.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to speak for his treatment, but that's the thing that really made me open my eyes. That didn't just happen here in LA. That happened in Vegas and all these other states and all these other cities where some of the best grassroots organizers were just pushed aside and told to shut the hell up and just do whatever you want to do on your own time, not with the campaign. Tiberius Monk 84, thank you for the super chat contribution, says, I would like a book titled Pasta and Fiorella's Guide to Progressive Activism. Has a nice ring to it. Run, Jesse, run. We are behind you. Hashtag Jesse 2020.
Don't
as long
get
as that
pasta
book
ideas.
is... What's that? Well, I was going to say, as long as that book... I got two more super chats real quick. As long as that book is narrated by Johnny Sue, then we have a book. Democracy, please, more Convo cooking vids. Call-in show. Call-in show? We should do a call-in show soon. Maybe we can arrange that where people can call up and we can talk. I like that. Roby Jaggers here. That's our friend. What's up, Roblito? How you doing, baby?
Roblito broke the story on Laura a few days ago, and it didn't really get too much traction. And then so the New York Times used a lot of the same data. And finally, people were like, oh, okay, great. So I just want to throw it out there. Like, if you're a progressive, support independent media. Stop waiting on the New York Times to break the story before you believe it. Otherwise, you're a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Like, why does the New York Times have more credibility? Roblito does a lot of great work, and he has the receipts.
Yes, he
You look at
reminds
his
me of
stuff.
Whitney Webb.
Yeah,
He's
has
like the
receipts.
MCSE's
The Rob
Whitney
report.
Webb. He gets all the deep, juicy stuff. He does a lot of research. He's a real smart guy. He says, thanks for covering my research, guys. Took a lot of heat for reporting it.
Of course
Glad to have my work vindicated. Thank you for the super chat contribution. And Robbie, right? The work this kid does.
Did you miss all the crap that I've been getting because of this unleashing of the
No, I have
I've
not.
been getting
I actually looked at
so
it.
much
Yes.
hate from people just by talking about this. And that's the thing. Like, if you're not getting hate from somebody, you're doing it wrong. Because these are people just want to put their head in the sand.
Yeah.
And they don't want to see what happened. We need to understand what happened, what went wrong, so we don't do this again. So we don't run another Bernie Sanders under the Democratic Party and put all these corrupt mother effers into it and do the same thing again.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders, like, he was supposed to get rid of those people, and they took him down. They literally took him down. They screwed his campaign. I think he would have had way more of a chance if those people hadn't been in charge.
It's I don't know why they were in charge. I don't know why he had people from Center for American Progress in his campaign.
Yep.
It just
There's
didn't
still
make
a lot
any
of people that
sense.
are going to talk, people that are friends here, that they're just waiting for coronavirus to kind of wind down because they're doing their a lot of organizing and activism. But you're going to be hearing from all of these people. The chickens is coming home to roost, like Pasta
I saw
says.
that, yeah. This was a crazy show today because there was a lot of chickens coming home to roost. It was Jesse, and it was these people, these leftover. And let me tell you something, fam. There's sycophants that have suffered from sensationalism on the left and neo-progressives, just like there are for the establishment. I can never understand the fascination, how people just loved Hillary Clinton and whatnot, and it was like that sensationalism. Well, they got the same thing for Bernie Sanders, and I'm not saying that you gotta hate the guy.
No,
you gotta recognize what has happened in the
you
people
gotta
that work
recognize
for
what
him.
happened in the campaign.
And you shouldn't be getting mad at Rob or Fiorella for calling out what happened. It's just ridiculous.
It's
fact
like
that now you're being
the messenger.
ridiculous.
They're doing what he said. You're hating the messenger instead of the people that caused the issue.
Jesse
and
said that 10 years ago.
That's what I'm saying, fam. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He was right on the money.
I'm gonna say it like Sarah Silverman. You're being ridiculous.
That
Remember
was
when
a
she
good,
said that?
That was a good impression.
She gave her face like this. You're being ridiculous.
That was
and she was like one of my favorite person
know.
in the world, and she just persona non grata. Fam.
Persona non grata. So there's rent strikes, fam.
Yes, Bernie Sanders should be leading a rent
should.
strike, a general strike. It's too late. He's going to be a thing of the past because once Jesse jumps in and all the momentum goes over there, it's going to take a lot of. Let me tell you something. We were talking about this the other day, fam, and I was talking about it with Niko. The shit you were taking online, like I started looking at some of it. I was like, wow, man, they're really going at you hard. And these are people that you were once friends with and talked about strategy with from Bernie Sanders and whatnot. Some of them.
Very few of them, but yeah.
A few of them, though.
Very,
I mean,
very
they
few.
weren't people that I would suspect that would say, shut up, Fiorella, you can't talk bad about Bernie Sanders. You know what I'm saying? But they are, and it's just, it's weird. So, I mean...
yeah, the media isn't there to promote political candidates. They're there to tell the truth. And if you want somebody that's there to be a fanboy or a fangirl to Bernie Sanders or any other politician, that's not me. So, and I'm okay with that. So...
Rent
strikes, May Day, May 1st, Friday. And millions of people are going to do all these virtual actions, or they're also going to do caravans with their cars. This one is in New York. There's one in New York that's happening. The rent strike in New York, they're trying to organize the largest rent strike in the middle of COVID right now. And there are at least, let me read a little bit of this because this is happening. At least 400 families who live in buildings, each containing 1,500 rent units, are coordinating building-wide rent strikes, according to Sia Weaver, campaign coordinator for Housing Justice for All, a New York-based coalition of tenants and housing activists. Additionally, over 5,000 people have committed through an online pledge to refuse to pay rent in May. The rent strike is a cry for dignity. We are all deserving of a home, no matter the color of our skin, financial status, or culture. And it's happening. I mean, we're rent striking here. A lot of people are rent striking here.
So bad.
DSA LA is also having a rent strike virtual event on May Day. At 7 p.m.
On rent day, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you can join that. Roshan's going. Several people are going. And
Is this
you
gonna be
can
a car
do.
One or just digital?
No, this one's just digital. This one's just digital at 7 p.m. And then Wisconsin, Ashley, and them are also doing the May Day 2020 People's Strike in response to COVID-19. They demand people-centered solutions, sacrifice no one for landlords or the rich. This is from Madison, Wisconsin, and they're doing that. And there's also the link there. It's actionnetwork.org is the website that you guys can look at and sign up and support them in that way. And that's Wisconsin. And then Seattle is also having their own through the Democratic Socialists of America. And they are organizing their tenants in their buildings in Seattle.
Nice.
And Seattle, of course, the rents have actually gone up, not to the point of California, but they did go up a lot than before. And of course, they're also dealing with coronavirus. They were one of the first
hard hit ones
in the beginning.
Yeah.
And they're doing that. And I know that Socialist Alternative is also, Kashama Sawant has been doing a lot of work on that as well. So.
Big ups to Larry Alger. Just spoke to him the other day. He's doing good. Stay safe. Stay healthy, my friend. We know it was hit hard. Fam, in the new bill, guess what?
What, fam?
My video is coming out on a new bill, too, as well. Guess there was nothing for rents, and there was nothing for mortgages. It was the same old bullshit, only specific SBA loans. And the way they did everything, this whole thing when it came to small businesses, when it came to the renters, when it came to the middle class, they didn't do shit. They took care of themselves, the elites, the oligarchs, and they screwed the working man. Nothing, no freeze, no real moratorium, only a deferment means which we push it back. And guess what? The chickens come home to roost because then the landlord can come with her hand out and say, where's my money? You owe it all. It's disgusting what they've done. And now some of the squad wants to vote against it after, Wall Street has got their trillions. Now you want to stay. They took care of themselves first. It was disgusting. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Congress. This is your government, Republicans and Democrats.
All of them.
Screwing you over.
Yes.
You got no friends.
And I have a video coming up on why Dem Enter doesn't work. And I'm just going to give you a hint. It doesn't work because these politicians are specifically going to always capitulate to try to defend their positions.
Yeah.
This is why you just can't. be within the
There's
Democratic
too many
Party
strings
anymore.
attached for them to try to
It's
go out and be
insane.
an independent-minded person.
Yep.
You're always going to be emboldened to them. Is that the word I'm using? Or no?
Indebted.
Yeah,
Mhm.
to them. You know what I'm saying? You're going to take their ideology on. You have to sign their agreements to do certain things. It's a corporate party, and they got you by the you-know-what, fam. We got anything else before we get out of here, Johnny? We have another Super Chat contribution from Rebule Rodmule. It's a sticker. SEK, thank you so much. I don't know what the SEK is. What country is that? But thank you very much. That's awesome. I also have Swedish. Thank you so much. Send us some chocolate. We love it. We'll give you our mailing address. Or is that watches? I keep getting them messed up.
They have really good alcohol. I don't know, Tina. I forget.
Tina will
what it's
tell you
called.
about that.
Aquavie. I don't know.
Okay, so we also have Mountain Pal Gal. I saw that one over here. Lori, Mountain Gal Pal, thank you so much for the Super Chat contribution. It is always appreciated on the couch. Jesse plays to win. No crumbling like Sanders. You better believe it. Fam, I'm not going to hate on Bernie, but Jesse ain't no Bernie. He ain't going to bow
he's not afraid.
down
He's
to
not
anybody.
afraid to be polite to his friend.
Nope.
Joe. I don't think he's going to call Joe Biden his friend. He might call Donald Trump his friend, though.
Who knows?
That'll put a different twist to
I
that.
don't know if Donald's his friend anymore. I think it's a long time relationship is there, and Donald's in a different area, and so is Jesse Ventura. Old Gringo, thank you for the Super Chat contributions. Always appreciated on the couch. We love it here. Isn't Jesse V late for the Green Party ticket? I don't believe he is. I believe the upper heads or the structure behind the Green Party will allow them to step aside. Because I remember when Jill Stein, she said, I'll step aside for Bernie. So I think they can do the same thing. Now, that is the question. Will they do that, fam? We're waiting on everything right now is waiting on the Green Party to make their selection. And once that is made, who is the VP to bring him across the finish line? And will they let him on those debate stage? So thank you very much, guys. Johnny, anything else before we get on out of here? Johnny doesn't have anything. Fiorella, anything else?
Nope.
We're going to go over and watch Jimmy Dore. He's starting soon. If you haven't joined our ROKFIN, please do. Tony watches closely. Make sure you send your information. We have a shirt for you. Carrie Mark, look out. He did. Beautiful.
Oh, there he is.
Carrie Mark, we're going to be looking for your shirt. Same with Gloria Jones and our other friends. And Roshan. For Pasta Jardula.
And Fiorella.
Johnny Sue on the ones and twos.
I'm out.
See you later, everybody.
Bye.